Welcome back to applelnsider. Today, we're going deep into one of the most iconic smartphones from Nokia's golden era, the Nokia 6600. Launched in 2003, this was more than just a phone. It was a statement, a symbol of innovation and style, and a powerhouse in your pocket at a time when most phones were just getting color screens. If you're a fan of retro tech or just curious about where smartphones came from, you're in for a treat. So sit back, relax, and let's dive into what made the Nokia 6600 a true legend. Number 1. Design and build quality. The Nokia 6600 stood out immediately with its unique, rounded design. Unlike the boxy and rigid phones of its time, the 6600 had smooth curves, a wider body, and a pebble-like shape that felt comfortable in the hand. The front was dominated by a soft, rubbery keypad and a 5-way joystick in the center, which added to its futuristic look. The two-tone color scheme, usually a mix of soft gray and silver, gave it a premium feel. Despite being made of plastic, the phone felt solid and durable. It was slightly bulky, yes, but in a world of flip phones and stick designs, the Nokia 6600 dared to be different. The build quality was classic Nokia. This was a phone that could take a fall or two and keep working. Many people still remember dropping it countless times without a scratch. That's the kind of durability we barely see today. It wasn't just about looking good, it was about lasting long. The buttons were well spaced, had a nice tactile feedback, and were easy to type on even in the dark. There's something deeply satisfying about the physical keys. Every press felt deliberate and solid. The design of the Nokia 6600 wasn't just about aesthetics, it was about ergonomics, strength, and personality. Number 2. Display. Back in 2003, having a color screen was still a novelty. But the Nokia 6600 took it a step further. It came with a 2.1-inch TFT screen with a resolution of 176 by 208 pixels, capable of displaying up to 65,000 colors. That might sound tiny by today's standards, but back then, it was a revelation. Photos looked decent, menus were vivid, and navigating through the interface felt like using a tiny computer. The screen was bright and readable in most lighting conditions, although direct sunlight could be a challenge. Its relatively large display made it perfect for reading text messages, browsing through contacts, and even viewing photos or playing games. For a phone in 2003, this was groundbreaking. Nokia didn't just slap a color screen onto a basic phone, they built a UI around it that felt alive and responsive. The icons were colorful, the text was sharp, and the backlight was well distributed. While it didn't have a touchscreen, the joystick made up for it by offering precise control over the interface. The display of the Nokia 6600 gave users a real glimpse into the smartphone future. Number 3. Performance. The Nokia 6600 ran on the Symbian Series 60 platform, powered by a 104 MHz ARM processor. Again, that might sound laughable today, but in its time, it was ahead of the game. It could handle multitasking, yes, real multitasking, which meant you could open a message, switch to the gallery, and jump back without restarting anything. Apps loaded quickly, and navigating the menu felt smooth and intuitive. It came with 6 MB of internal storage, which could be expanded using an MMC card, and trust me, back then, expandable storage was a big deal. The phone handled Java-based apps and games well, and it was one of the first mobile phones where you could truly feel like you were using a computer in your pocket. The processor, though small by today's standards, was optimized for its tasks. It didn't lag easily and could run apps like Opera Mini or basic video players. Without breaking a sweat, the Symbian OS gave it a lot of flexibility. From file managers to mobile productivity tools, you could do quite a lot on the 6600. The user interface was clean and fast, and the phone rarely crashed. In short, it performed like a champ. Number 4. Camera. The Nokia 6600 was one of the earliest mainstream phones to feature a VGA camera. At 0.3 megapixels, the resolution was limited, but the fact that you could even take digital photos on a phone was a marvel in itself. It had a dedicated camera app, allowing users to take photos and even record short video clips. The interface was simple, with options for brightness, night mode, and more. It might not have replaced a digital camera, but it brought the power of spontaneous photography to everyone's pocket. The camera could store photos in the gallery, which could then be viewed, sent via Bluetooth or infrared, or even edited using third-party apps. For casual photography, it was more than enough. You could take a selfie, although without a front camera, it was more like guess and shoot, or capture memories on the go. The image quality wasn't sharp, but it had that nostalgic grain that gave it charm. In many ways, this was the beginning of the camera phone revolution. Number 5. Battery life. One of the standout features of any Nokia phone was always the battery, and the 6600 was no exception. It came with a BL5C battery rated at 850 mAh, which provided around 2 to 3 days of use with moderate usage. Standby time was excellent. You could leave it idle for days and come back to it still alive. Even with regular calling, texting, and occasional app use, the battery held strong. Charging was quick, and the power efficiency of the Symbian OS helped extend the battery's life further. There were no background app drains or heavy processes. The phone was designed to last, and you could trust it to keep working throughout the day. Compared to modern smartphones that need charging every night, the Nokia 6600 was a battery beast. Number 6. Software and features. This is where the Nokia 6600 really flexed its muscles. Running on Symbian OS, it supported third-party applications, meaning you could install apps, games, even mini-office tools. It had Bluetooth, infrared, and even GPRS for internet connectivity. You could browse the web, check email, transfer files, and even stream audio, a rare feature back then. It supported video playback in formats like 3GP, and you could record video using its built-in camera. The phonebook had support for multiple numbers per contact. There were calendar features, alarms, notes, and voice recording. For a phone launched in 2003, the feature set was staggering. It wasn't just a phone, it was a mobile computer. The Series 60 interface made it easy to navigate through folders, install apps, and manage settings. You could customize ringtones, themes, and even tweak system behavior. It had a real operating system, not just firmware, and that opened up a world of possibilities for power users. Number 7. Value for money. When it launched, the Nokia 6600 wasn't cheap. It was considered a high-end business phone, priced at a premium. But looking back, it was worth every penny. It gave users a taste of the future: multitasking, apps, a color screen, and a camera all in one compact package. It was more than a phone, it was an experience. People used it not just for calls and texts, but for work, play, and staying connected. It lasted long, both in terms of battery and build quality. Many users kept their 6600 for years without ever needing a replacement. That kind of longevity made it a smart investment. Even today, it holds value for collectors and retro tech lovers. It was a phone that delivered on its promise, and then some. So what's the final word on the Nokia 6600? It was a pioneer, a trailblazer, a phone that showed us what was possible long before iPhones and Androids came into the scene. With its smart design, colorful screen, powerful performance, capable camera, long battery life, and feature-rich software, the Nokia 6600 wasn't just ahead of its time, it helped define the future. It proved that phones could be more than tools. They could be companions, assistants, and even entertainment devices. For anyone who used it, the 6600 wasn't just a device, it was a memory. And for those discovering it now, it's a reminder of how far we've come, and how cool things already were, way back then. Thanks for watching applelnsider. If you enjoyed this trip down memory lane, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more classic tech reviews. See you in the next one.